Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about how you can play a song called Long Haired Country Boy. And it starts off with an intro lick around a D major chord. So the way you play D major is you put the first finger on the G string on the second fret, second finger is going to the high E on the second fret, and the third finger is going to the B string on the third fret. And if you strum just the top four strings, that makes a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And we're going to play that a lot for the verse. But the intro lick, you kind of do the bass on the D string, and then do it down on the chord, and then do that again. So you got bass on the D chord, but then we go to the A string and do a hammer on to second fret on the A string. So you're going to open second, and then we're going to go open D, and then go back to second fret on the A string. So that's kind of a weird little lick. You got hammer on the A from open to second, and then open D, and then back to second fret on the A, but then we're going to go to third fret on the D, and then play open D. So from the beginning, you've got the D chord with the bass on the D, and then a down on the chord, D on the bass, or D string for the bass, down, and then you got the hammer on the A, open A to second, hammer on, and then open D, second on the A, and then third fret on the D, and then open D. And then we start into one of my favorite parts actually of this lick, which is all about pull-offs, where you kind of play a note and then let your finger kind of fall off the string. So like if we go to 7th fret on the D, we're going to do a pull-off from 7th on the D to open D, and then we go to 5th fret on the D string and do the same thing. So 5th fret pull-off, and then we go to 3rd fret and do the same thing, and then we're going to go to 2nd fret on the D and do the same thing. So the pull-off part, you got 7th fret, pull off to open, 5th fret, pull off open, 3rd fret, pull off to open, 2nd fret, pull off to open, and then we go back to the A string for the open, second, hammer on again, and then open D, and then we do a hammer on the 3rd fret on the D, and then we're going to kind of hit the ground running with the chords after that. So that whole intro lick, you got D chord with the open D bass, chord, D bass, chord, open A to second, open D, second on the A, 3rd fret on the D, open D, and then pull off from 7th fret, pull off from 5th fret on the D, pull off from 3rd fret on the D, pull off from 2nd fret on the D, and then open A to 2nd fret, hammer on again, and open D to 3rd fret, hammer on, and open D. And then we're going to go into the chords from there. And our verse progression, so all together with the intro, right? Right, so that's kind of our intro lick. But then for our verses, we're going to be on D major, 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 D major. So our verses really are all D. Now one thing you can add to that to make it more interesting is doing one of my favorite strum patterns, which is down, down, up, down, up. So we tried that on the D. We'd have down, down, up, down, up, D, down, down, up, down, 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 D, down, down. We go to G major, and the way you play G major, first finger is going to the A on the 2nd fret, second finger is going to the low E or the thick E on the 3rd fret, and the third finger goes to the high E on the 3rd fret. And if you strum all those together, that makes a G major chord. So for our chorus, we're going G major, G major, G major, G major, D major, D major, D major, D major. We go to an A major chord, and the way you play A major chord, first finger is going to go on the D on the 2nd fret, 2 is going to go on the G on the 2nd fret, and the third finger is on the B on the 2nd fret. So it's kind of a big party on the 2nd fret, and that's called A major. And we do do that twice, and then we go to a C major chord. And the way you play C major, we go first finger on the B on the first fret, second finger is going to the D on the second fret, third finger is going to the A on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that makes a C major chord. And then from there, there's kind of a lick that you could kind of add after that. So it's a big C with a down, but then we're going to go to second fret on the A, and then open A, and then third fret on the low E on the thick E, and then first fret on the low E, and then we kind of play that again. So from the C chord, you got C with a down, and 2 on the A, open A, third fret on the low E, first fret on the low E, and then first fret on the low E, and then you would actually go to the intro lick again. Alright, but from the, just to go through the chorus one time with the strum pattern, we got our G chord with our down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, G down, down, up, down, D 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 down, down, up, down, A down, down, up, down, A down, down, up, down, up. Then we got our C with a down, and then 2 on the A, open A, 3 on the low E, first fret on the low E. And then we go back to our intro lick. So we got our D chord with our bass chord, open A to second, hammer on, open D, second on the A, and then third fret on the D, open D, and then 7th fret, pull off on the D, open, 5th fret, pull off to open, 3rd fret, pull off to open, 2nd fret, pull off to open, and then open the second on the A, hammer on, and then open D, and then hammer on a 3rd, and then open D, and then you're back to chords again. Then we got the next verse. D down, up, down, up, 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 D down, up, the intro lick. Alright, now another way you could kind of work the through the song instead of using the down, down, up, down, up strum pattern is this has a very traditional country feel, and the traditional country strum pattern a lot of times works off of bass notes. So for instance, on the D chord, you could play that bass that we were doing on the D string and then do a down up over the chord. And then a lot of times you would play what's called the 5th of the chord as a bass note, which in this case is just an open A. And then we do another down up. So you kind of have bass on the D, down up, A string for the bass, down up, D string for the bass, down up, A string for the bass, down up on the D chord. Which is kind of going root, down up, 5th, down up is what we're actually playing of the chord. The root is what the name of the chord is. So the root for a D chord is a D note. And then if you counted up the alphabet from D, E, F, G, and after that we start over again on A, and the music alphabet A. So what we're really doing is root on the D, down up, A's the 5th, down up, D's the root, down up, A's the 5th, down. Kind of be a traditional country strum pattern for that. The only other chords that you would have to do that with is like on the G, for instance, the low E string is the lowest note that has the name of the chord, the G note. So you do the low E for the root and then do your down up. And then the D string ends up being your 5th. Down up, so you got on the G chord you got low E, down up, D string for the 5th, down up, low E for the 5th, or root, down up, D for the 5th, down, low E for the root, down up, D for the 5th, down, low E for the root, down up, D for the 5th. And then when you get to the A chord, then you'd have your A string for the bass, because that's the root of the chord is the A note for the A chord. and then your E note would be your fifth. A, B, C, D, E. So you're going A string, down, up, and then low E string, down, up, A string, down, up, low E string, down, up. And then for the C chord and then the lick, I would just keep that all the same, actually. So from the beginning, trying the verse with the country strum pattern, you have the D chord, down, up, this, down, up, D, C, D, then you got low E for the bass, and then D string for the fifth, and then G, another G, another G, and then you're back to D with the D string for the root, and the A string for the fifth, D string, A string, D string, A string, D string, A string, and then when you go to the A major, then you got the A string for the root, and the low E for the fifth, A string, E string, and you got the C with the lick. So that's the basics of how you can play a good old song called Long Hair Country Boy. So good luck!